Howdy folks, and welcome to this Let's Play of Skyrim. Part of the Elder Scrolls series. I believe it's number 5, the Elder Scrolls series that we're basically looking at here. This is the enhanced edition of Skyrim, so that's newly released in the middle of October, or towards the end of October to be honest. So only a few days ago that was released. I'd like to just basically get started with a new game. Do bear in mind there's a lengthy introduction, so I'm just going to pause the recording for a minute. I'll be back with you in just a second, so there will be a little bit of discontinuity in that next section. Alright, there's always basically this intro, but like I said, I'm just going to pause the recording now. Alright, we're back. So really the bit that I skipped over here is the introduction, where you're basically taken on a cart into the village of Helghan here. And Helghan is really the place where I, as currently being a prisoner, along with the other prisoners here, are being brought to, well, the axe. Anyways. In a second we'll also get a chance here to really build our own character in terms of race, in terms of name, etc, etc. Now at this point really we get to be introduced to a few of the key characters, like the Lord of Windhelm. Alright, Roloff, which is going to be potentially a key player. And this guy will just run in a second. Now what's so special about this enhanced edition? It's got enhanced graphics, so everything looks a lot more refined, looks a lot better. So really brought up to speed in terms of current day options. And now really it's up to me to really choose what kind of character I want to play. Do I want to play an Aragorn? Do I want to play a Breton? Dark Elf? High Elf? Imperial? Khajiit? Nord? Orc? Redguard? Or maybe a Wood Elf. Now, it is quite... It's got some influence on basically your character development. Each of these particular races got certain traits that they will get. So, for example, if I were to choose a High Elf... High Elf's got lots of affinity for the arcane. So, I'll basically get additional boosts in terms of arcane powers if I were to play the High Elf. Now, if I were to play an Imperial here, on the other hand... Those are very, very versatile in their skill set, so they're basically both good at combat as well as magic, like it says here. But they're also typically good at trading, so they're good in terms of basically getting more money for the goods that you might be selling. 1 second. Now you might wonder what's really the impact of this. Well, it'll have an impact throughout the game. For example, if you play an Imperial, people will actually interact with you as if you were one of the Imperials. So the same goes for when you choose Khajiit. The Khajiit basically will be discriminated against and everything because we're here in the region of Skyrim, and there's not many or other races in this particular region. So the Khajiit typically are kept out of town and so forth. Now these guys are typically very, very good at being thieves. They're very naturally stealthy, and of course they've got special eyesight, so they can actually see a lot better in the dark. But I also got the unarmed claw attack they can use. But what should I play in this particular walkthrough? I've typically played the High Elf, and I think I might actually again do that in this particular playthrough here. So I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to go to the next step, which is basically the body. So at this point I can really choose, do I want to be a man, do I want to be a woman? So different appearances, of course. And of course there's lots of presets underneath there in terms of appearance. So there's lots of preset options in terms of appearance at my disposal. And I probably want to play someone who doesn't look too thick. Relatively skinny. It's a little bit on the dark side in terms of what a High Elf typically is. I think I'm going to go for this particular look. Now, I'm not fully set with this, of course. I can still go to the next set and basically make some minor changes. But really my idea here is I would basically have a nice starting point to start off with. Now the dirt on the face I will reduce to as little as possible. War paint, etc, etc. I don't think I want to do any of that. So the face. Really this allows to adjust the face of the character to the nth degree. The width of the jaw, the height of the jaw, etc, etc. But since I've chosen a preset, I'm pretty happy with what basically I got in there already. You can even choose a different neck color if you wanted to. Then ultimately, of course, the eyes here. Now I do want to change the eye color slightly. I don't like this particular color so much. I probably want to go for the green, intense green eyes here. You can even choose your eyeliner color. So if you want to basically choose relatively dark eyes, eyeshadow, and ultimately the eye tint. I think I'm going to just go for this reddish color here. Then the brow, the mouth. Now I want to change the mouth shape a little bit. Relatively thin lips, I think. This will do. That will do. And ultimately my hair, I'm quite happy with the current. I just want to reduce the amount of facial hair. Maybe I only want to have a bit on the front. Actually that looks quite nice. A little bit of a beard. Hair color. Let's give him a bit of a reddish color. I haven't actually played with the reddish color yet. Now I actually do want to change the prisoner's name as well, and I think we might have missed that at the first bit when we were doing the race. I should have been able to choose the name as well. Okay, let's choose R for done. Yes, I'm ready to name the character. Typically, of course, I play as Sonelias, so I'll be playing Sonelias here again.
You are not with the Falmer embassy, are you, Helghan?
So as you can see, there's straight away interaction with you as if you are with a certain faction because of your race.
Forget the list. He goes to the block.
By orders.
As you can see, no matter what you do at this point, you will actually be sentenced to death. Now, it wouldn't be much of a game if you were to really die, of course, at the beginning. So there will be some special things taking place in a second. Now, at this point, I really don't have any control except for being able to move my head. My hands are tied, and I'm basically, together with all these other characters, waiting to be executed.
You started this war, plunged Skyrim into chaos. Now the Empire is going to put you down and restore the peace.
It does give you a bit of background in terms of what actually is going on here.
What was that?
It's nothing. Carry on.
Yes, General Tullius. Give them their last rites.
Alright, General Tullius.
Your souls to Aetherius.
Now, we do keep an eye on the mountain tops just to the right of the tower there. We should in a minute see what will happen.
Come on. I haven't got all morning.
He'll be executed.
My ancestors.
So if you're got a weak stomach, please look away. And there goes his head, unfortunately.
You imperious bastards! Death to the Stormcloaks!
Straight away, the rest of the prisoners are cursing the
The High Elf!
guys here, and it looks like we are next on the list. Now let's keep our eyes out above those mountains. Let's see what we can actually see in that particular region.
Block prisoner. Nice and easy.
Alright, now at this point I got no further control over my head. It's just going to go onto the block. And we're forced to look there, and straight away you should see that there is a dragon.
What do you see?
Now, the question here has always been, what will this particular dragon do? Is it trying to basically rescue me, or is it trying to basically get rid of me at this point? But maybe that's revealing a bit too much of the storyline already. You'll straight away be told exactly what kind of controls you have. So you can actually use the W, A, S and D keys to move around. Using the shift key you can actually force yourself to run.
What is that thing? Could the legends be true? Legends don't burn down villages. We need to move now! Up through the tower. Let's go!
Alright.
Another second out there.
Like he pretty much already says at this point, we are supposed to go up here. And we are supposed to try to get away from the dragon. I'll pull back a little bit to avoid the flames of the dragon.
See the inn on the other side. Jump through the roof and keep going.
Alright, just press spacebar to jump. There we go, we made it into the actual inn. Now you can actually use some other controls as well. If you press the control key here, you actually go into stealth mode. You'll be sneaking through this particular part here. And the idea is you're trying to basically avoid the attention of the dragon. Now you do see there are, at the top of that tower, there's archers there, trying to shoot at the actual dragon there. They won't have much luck basically in trying to take down the dragon at this point in the game. Now the key thing to remember here, in this game we are starting off as being a level 1 character. Person playing at level 1, which means that you are relatively weak compared to the others. Now you do build up your skills by actually using them. So sneaking will improve as you move in sneak mode. Alright, we're going to try to hide behind this rock. Alright. At this point I'm basically following this Imperial. Earlier I was following one of the rebels. So there's a bit of a shift between who you are actually following at this point. Nice enhancements here. Oops. We'll be faced with a choice in just a minute as to which particular faction you want to basically go with. Is it the Imperials?
It's you and me, prisoner. Stay calm.
How in oblivion do we kill this thing?
Now we basically either follow the Imperial to whatever door in the tower he takes us to, or we follow the rebels. Hadvor or Roloff. I'm gonna basically follow the actual guy here, which will basically take us through as basically being part of the rebels.
We'll meet again in Sonelias, brother. Looks like we're the only ones who made it. That thing was a dragon, no doubt. Just like the children's stories and the legends. The harbingers
Yes,
of
it is
the
indeed a
end
dragon.
times. We better get moving. Come here. Let me see if I can get those bindings off. There you go. May as well
Perfect.
take Gunjar's gear. He won't be needing it anymore.
And pretty much any item you see in this particular world you can actually take. Now, we can actually, of course, at this point equip certain items. So if I want to equip the bits and bobs that he was wearing, I can actually do so.
Alright. Get that armor on. Get that axe and the swings. I'm going to
What axe? Did I have an axe? I'm not sure. Did I have an axe? So just pressing on I will, of course, take me to my inventory.
Let's see about that gate.
I did not see an axe. Ah, there was actually an axe. I just didn't equip it. Now one of the things I want to do at this point as well, I want to basically go and look at my I want to look at my magic use. So where was that? MS map is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for not that either. What was it? There is a particular keyboard shortcut for it. I just don't remember what it was. Let's have a brief look at our actual controls. So if we look at the actual magic P, there we go. That gives us access to all of the potential magic we've got. Now at this point I can actually make some of these magics favorites. Now at this point we can also make a choice in terms of what we want to focus in on. So we'll be able to press Q to bring up our favorites menu, and we can then choose from our favorites which are the ones we want to access through the various different bits and bobs. Active effects, fortify magic, which is fine. Alright, so do I want to go for the Fury as well? It might be interesting to actually try to do something with illusions. I haven't actually done anything in terms of illusions in this game before. So, well, I'm saying in this game because of course I played the regular Skyrim, not the enhanced edition. Alright, so at this point I can choose which is the one I want to access here. And as you can see I can actually allocate numbers to them. Highest being an 8. Alright, I should have actually assigned this to my favorites as well. Q, I want to basically have this as number 5.
Damn you. Damn you.
Of course you don't want to sneak around in battle. One of the things that seems to happen at the moment, I seem to be walking relatively slowly. Probably want to change one of the settings in here. There is an option somewhere to basically always run. Thought there was at least. And I took him out. Self-healing. Right, this armor, as you can see, has got a weight of 6. It's got a value of 125. It is relatively important in this, particularly early on, to basically make sure you get some money. So get items that are worth some money, and particularly if they're actually low weight, that helps a lot. So this one's relatively heavy, as you can see, 35 weight, 100 value, but the helmet again is relatively okay. Bracers are relatively okay.
Here we are. Found the key. Let's see if it opens that door. That's it. Come on. Let's get out of here before the dragon brings the whole tower down on our heads.
So we can run. Okay. Looks like the dragon has actually taken us into here again.
The dragon doesn't give up easy.
Grab everything important and let's move.
Alright.
Dragon's burning everything to the ground.
Just need to gather some more potions.
Storm close. Buildings raided.
Now let doesn't really help, does it? He's still attacking me. Which wasn't really what I was hoping for. Alright, let's do this again. Alright, let's heal ourselves. And of course we've been tasked to basically get some potions. Lightweight armor at this point still seems to be relatively good value. And when I talk about value here, I really mean value for the weight. So value relative to the weight that the items actually have. Alright, let's have a look at everything we can actually get our hands on here. Not sure why I'm almost like I'm sneaking in terms of speed. It's a little bit faster, but it's not by much. Now, pretty much all of these items here are either something you can open up or you can take, including, as you can see, the pheasant, the rabbit, etc., etc. Basically add some meat to my inventory. I don't want any of that bread. I do want the potions. Potions are always more than welcome. Same goes with salt pile, which is basically an alchemy ingredient that we can actually use later on for the purpose of crafting. Wine seems to be a relatively good value to weight ratio as well. I'm just taking all of them. Large sacks typically contain something like fruit or something along those lines. That one's empty. It actually says empty. I should have looked at that earlier. But here, of course, we got some additional potions. Salt pile again. I think at this point I'm relatively okay in terms of what I can do over here.
Done. Let's get moving.
All right. Let's take this guy out. Took him out. Again, every time you're basically in an inventory window like this, it kind of pauses the game, which of course works perfectly fine, particularly since it's a first player game that we're basically going through here. Alright. Fur boots, no good value to weight ratio here. These on the other hand, most definitely good value to weight ratio. Now if I look at my actual apparel, I've got some interesting stuff here, like the Torturer's Hood. I might want to equip that. Now you do need lockpicks to be able to open up things like that. Now throughout the game you will continuously come across items like, for example, books, the Book of the Dragonborn. I would always recommend either read the books, even if it's just the first page, or actually take the book. You can actually create your own little house where you basically create your own storage later on to retain everything that you want to retain there. Now, there is another book here. Why do I tell you to read the books? Because either you learn something about the history or the location of certain items, or there might be quests that basically start from the books, but sometimes you also gain skill points from the books. Now, we haven't seen anything of the skill points yet. I will show you that in a minute. Let's first start by practicing opening these locks. Alright. Sweet. So this is all about basically rotating the individual lock components until they're properly aligned. Once they're properly aligned, it's a matter of basically exerting force on it, such that you can try to then wiggle it open. There we go, open that one. Now we've got a mage here, and of course the mage's got some mage items. Novice Hood, which is useful particularly when you basically want to play a proper mage. It actually increases your magicka by 30 points. And actually the robes make the regeneration of your magic significantly faster. There's a spell tome here, Sparks. Some money here as well. So useful stuff to be found here. So let's actually re-equip what we just found here. Or let's equip, I should really say. So the Novice Hood as well as the Novice Robes is what we're wearing now. I'm still wearing the fur boots at this point. It might be interesting. Let's have a look. Armor 7, weight 2. Armor 6, and this one's armor 7, weight 2. Again, there's another door here. Particularly at this low level, you'll quite regularly see that you actually gain more points than it actually costs you. Well, costs you. More points relatively quickly, I should say. Oh yeah, there was a particular book that I found, so there is a book here of Sparks, so I can actually use that to learn the new spell of Sparks. Again, remember that I was told you earlier, we can actually interact with pretty much everything in the environment, and everything you do will somehow increase your skill level with those individual items. Now, I don't have too many lockpicks. I've got 4. Well, I thought I didn't have too many. It looks like I've got 14 of them. Okay. There you go. Lockpicking is increased to level 16. And of course we can set stuff ablaze. Unfortunately not the hay in here, which would be nice, but okay. Nothing to be found here, but there is of course a skeleton to be found in the other one. Okay. There's a coin purse here. There's a skeleton which again contains bone meal as well as some money. Now what's the purpose of actually collecting the bone meal? It is a ingredient for various different potions we can create. Now how do you get to know what they actually can do? Now as you can see at the moment on the screen it says unknown, 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 unknown. We can actually gain knowledge about each of those by just eating them, and it basically tells us the first of those 4 powers. Now of course we did get hurt because of that, unfortunately, but okay. Sometimes you just got to take that as a given. Alright, more stuff to be found here. Nothing on this particular one. Always keep an eye out for the bookcases. Bookcases again can contain interesting bits and bobs. All these skeletons, I'm searching. Some of them are actually empty, as you can see.
This way.
Now we can actually talk to this guy.
There's nothing that's too low.
Let's get some feedback from them. And I think, can we actually save the game already? We actually can. Alright, so that's been saved as number 1 of Helghan. So what I'll do at this point, given the time, I think it's a great point in time for us to call it a day. So I will save the game. So as you can see, that will be saved as Helghan at number 1. So I'm going to overwrite that one. So have a look at that again. It's actually now incremented that to number 2. That's basically the point where we're calling it a day. So I hopefully will see you on the next one. Have a great day. Bye bye.